When I was 18, I was afraid to talk to girls. I would want them to come up to me and initiate the conversation. Hell, I would wish for them to come up to me. And guess what? I would try to wait and wait, but no girl would come up to me and start the conversation. Something had to change. I would always feel shy and anxious around an attractive girl that I always wanted to talk to, whether it be on the streets, at the mall, or even in class. And I would feel this barrier, this something preventing me from wanting to initiate. I was scared to make mistakes or stutter or say something that may piss her off. And when I doubt myself, I lose the opportunity. I would never see her again outside in public. I would never be in the same class as her the next time I have to do another class. So here are the 4 steps you can take to make it easier for you to approach women. The first thing that you have to do is that you have to recognize that anxiousness is excitement. When I had to talk to an attractive girl, or when I tried to at least approach an attractive woman that I wanted to talk to, I felt nervous. And I thought that was taking the best of me. And it was. I would let it seep in. I was like, damn, I'm so nervous. I shouldn't be feeling this. It's unnatural. And with my nervous tendencies, I start to stutter. I start to saying things wrong. And I would start to increase my pace of talking with her. And since I didn't know anything about charisma, I wouldn't even have eye contact with her. I'll be looking around while trying to talk to her really fast and stutter. And it wasn't good at all. Every time I felt like this, I'll label it as anxiety. So what I did was, instead of labeling it as anxiety or nervousness, I labeled it as excitement. I'm excited to be in a situation. I'm excited to have this feeling of wanting to talk to her, wanting to get to know her because she's attractive. She caught my eye. Now I want to know what she has in her mind, what she thinks about, which would help me want to ask her out or ask for a number. I would also think about that this is an opportunity to meet her. Even if I don't get her number, at least I tried. I wouldn't want to go home with regret knowing that I could have just asked what her name is. I could have asked what she likes, where she's from, if we have any compatibility, and potentially see her again if I get her number. So whenever I see an attractive woman, at least back then, I had to brainwash myself that the nervousness that I feel is just excitement. And I applied this to sports as well. Whenever I played basketball or when I ran track, I knew I always felt nervous. But then I was like, I feel a lot of energy. Although I feel a little sick in my stomach, some butterflies, I'm kind of shaky a little bit, sweaty, I do feel this high energy inside of me. So that's when I said, okay, although this may be anxiety or nervousness, I feel excited. It's more excitement than nervousness. I'm just excited to be in this opportunity. I'm excited to do this thing. I'm excited to race. I'm excited to play basketball. So whenever I approach that attractive girl that I see, I know it is excitement that I want to talk to her, so I introduce myself. I ask where something is, or what her name is, where she's from, what she likes, hobbies, good restaurants around here. Of course, this isn't a one-time solution. You have to do this multiple times, which I'll talk about on the last point of this video. But when you feel anxious, when you feel that nervousness, brainwash yourself knowing that it's excitement. And when you do this, you approach this conversation as an opportunity, not something that you don't want to do. It'll make your conversation go easier, you'll feel less pressure on yourself, and hell, you'll increase your chances on getting her number. The second thing that I did, which helped me with my nervousness as well, was treating that conversation as platonic. So with that nervousness that I felt, it's from me putting pressure on myself of having to get her number. I would also overthink, man, how do I get her number? What should I say in this moment? How do I make her like me, you know? All these questions and the self-doubt that I put on myself is putting a lot of pressure. And that increased my nervousness that I labeled, which in turn decreased my chance on a successful conversation. So instead of trying to impress her or trying to make her like me, I started to focus on having a platonic conversation, at least in my head. So I would decrease that pressure of this conversation. So when I'm meeting someone for the first time, I should at least know the basics, like her name, where she's from, what are her hobbies, and of course, you should add some of your inputs as well so she knows who you are as well. And as the conversation prolongs, you could try to flirt a little bit, kind of tease her a little bit, kind of point something out, and try to flirt with that. But decrease the pressure on yourself first. When you have this high expectation and going into the conversation, you're just going to try to impress her, which will push her away, first of all. And second of all, your ability to be yourself and actually try to get to know her hinders. So when you approach that attractive girl, 1, of course, label it as excitement, but then 2, be platonic with it. Label it as a networking opportunity or an opportunity to make another friend. See if you even like her when you ask questions about her, and if you do, then ask for her number. And guess what? If she rejects you, so what? Just move on to the next girl. The next thing that you have to do is have an open body language. Before college, I would never smile to anybody. So whenever I tried to make a new friend or approach that attractive girl, it would not go as well as I wanted to be. I wouldn't smile at all. I would have a straight face. I would sometimes put my hands in my pockets or I would cross my arms. And while I had the conversation with my arms crossed, I wouldn't look into her eyes or my hands were in my pockets, and I would even smile, which was weird. The conversation would go stale. It would become more awkward because she would see me as someone unfriendly because my body language isn't welcoming. It's unwelcoming because I'm not smiling. That means she has to put a barrier between us, a defense mechanism, because I could be a foe, I could be an enemy to her, because I'm not showing enough emotions. So what I did was I had to think to myself, what is causing these conversations to go stale? What can I make myself to be more welcoming? And it sounds simple, but all I had to do was smile more. When I started smiling more, when I talked to that attractive girl, when I'm serving customers, or I'm making new friends, I saw that the conversations were going more smoothly. I even felt more like myself, which decreased the pressure. I didn't have to put on the act where I didn't smile or I didn't show any emotions. It made me a little less nervous, although I felt nervousness, but then I felt excitement because I labeled it as excitement, and I felt less pressure on myself because I was able to be myself. Then the conversation started ramping up. People were more welcoming, they were more excited to talk to me because I was smiling. I looked more welcoming and presentable for them to trust me. So figure out which body language you need to fix. Maybe it's your posture, maybe it's your arms where you're crossed or you put it in your pockets where you're not open. Maybe you need to practice your eye contact or even smile like me. Maybe you're even fidgeting, which makes the other person nervous. I get it, man. It's uncomfortable to talk to that attractive woman, either because you've never done it before or if you only done it a few times and it didn't go well as you wanted to be. Which leads to the last point of you having to practice. The more you do something, the better you get. Even look at this channel. Look a year or even 2 years ago. I didn't speak this well. I spoke more quietly. I didn't project my voice as well. Or you couldn't even understand what I was saying. Even when I freestyle these videos like what I'm doing right now, my ability to come up with conversation points or even projecting my own opinions is better than what I did 2 years ago. I couldn't even do this. I couldn't even freestyle what I'm saying. So that's why you have to practice. Back then when I didn't have any dating experience, it was hard for me to talk to women because I wasn't comfortable. And that's because I didn't practice. I barely talked to girls. I barely approached them, especially during school or classes. I didn't do it. And I felt uncomfortable because I've never done it, like I said. And I was more nervous. I put more pressure on myself because I wanted to have success, and whenever I didn't have success, I felt bad. I felt like I failed, and that prevented me from wanting to do it again. But the whole point is that you need to practice, even though if it doesn't go well, learn from it, make it better, and then try it again with another attractive woman. Now, when you start this, you don't have to do it with women first. Try to talk to random strangers on the street, ask them where something is, or strike up a random conversation. Whatever that gets you comfortable approaching random people. This could even be a networking thing where you can go to networking sessions, go to bars if you're legal enough, go to restaurants, work in a restaurant because you have to talk to strangers all day, or just go to the mall, go to the street and just approach random people to ask where something is, where they're from, whatever. Just practice with strangers, and once you get more practice in and you feel a little more comfortable, confident, and excited, then try to approach that attractive woman. If she rejects you, it's okay. Move on. You're getting practice in, you're getting reps. But of course, review what you did and see what you can fix. Maybe next time, try to pronounce things correctly. Try to be more slower with your conversation. Try to have a deeper ending on your sentences instead of being high-pitched at the end. Maybe you're fidgeting too much. Maybe you're not looking into her eyes. Practice it, fix it, and practice. Trust me. It'll get easier And you start to thank yourself because you'll be able to strike up a random conversation with anybody on the streets, regardless if it's a woman or a man. So, label your nervous as excitement. Make your conversations platonic, and if it goes well, start to flirt a little bit. Have an open body language so the other person isn't nervous. They aren't in a defensive stance. They feel more welcoming to talk to you. And lastly, approach women or even strangers for practice. So you know what to say, how to say things, so you become more comfortable talking when you're nervous or excited and in a high pressure situation. It takes time. Start implementing these steps now and you'll level up like you've never done before. Thank you for watching, bro. If you're new to the channel, my name is Kensei. I post twice a week. If you're cool with that, subscribe right here. And guess what? YouTube is recommending this video for you to watch next. Go improve it.